And what else?
If you'd ask me how my experience with Xenosaga 2 was, I think I'd say it wasn't as bad as people said it would be. But at the same time, it definitely is as bad as people said it would be.
What?
If we talk about the mainline Xeno games and which game is the absolute worst in the series, I think it's not even close. But here I am already talking about the negative aspects of the game. Sparks Lupus, you never talk about the negative first. You are absolutely right. I think at least, I can't remember. Has it happened before? Who knows? This game has an actual soundtrack. Yes, you heard that right. Now, is it the best soundtrack ever made? Light years from it, but there is finally some music playing in the background. The soundtrack is a little bit all over the place from the style and the quality, but hey, it's there. And all of my streams were copyright claimed to no end, so that's that. The game had a lot of puzzles, which made it feel like a Zelda game at times. I'm pretty certain that Xenosaga 2 is the reason why Nintendo was considering buying Monolith Soft in the first place. They saw the craftsmanship and peak game design and just couldn't look away. But on a more serious note, the story is still fire. I really love this universe and the characters. Granted, not all of them, but we'll get to them in a second. I have to make a special mention of the whole relationship between Momo and Ziggy, and sure, also Miss Mizrahi, and also of course between Junior and Albedo. Holy moly. Monolith Soft? They have a soft spot for villains, no? Albedo might be one of the best villains we ever had in the Xeno series. I didn't expect the story to go so hard into his character and his past, and dare I say, it makes me realize just how much Nintendo is holding them back with the more family-friendly stuff. Some cutscenes, the things he says and does are kind of, well, you wouldn't see it in a Nintendo game, I think. Mentally deranged and absolutely lost in the Yuru sauce. Dare I say once again that Albedo was low-key kinda carrying episode 2? This maniac is like one of the main events. I also finally met Dimitri Yuriev. The one and only, and oh no, he might also be a peak villain, I'm afraid. No one told me how menacing he was. That's kinda hot. He wields guns, just like Rubido. I'm looking forward to this dude in the third game. I'm also very happy to finally know what Abel's arc is. Although, no, that's kind of wrong. I just saw it, and that's where it ends really. It's a somewhat big ship. I understand the disappointment for the lack of all those ships from episode 1 and 2 in the size comparison. I'm very sorry about that. Believe me, it was nothing personal. It was me. The absolute ginormous amount of questions and mysteries that this game is setting up is insane. The cutscenes and choreography, especially for a PlayStation 2 game, is pretty nuts. There is one cutscene in particular which was so just unexpected, unexpectedly high effort, you know? Which is related to Old Milcha, you know which one I mean. This game definitely has wallpaper material. What else is there? Did I mention Ziggy and Junior? I really like them. You know what I like too? Jin. I like Jin too. Cool new addition to the party. The addition of elements and also element combos is pretty cool. Reminds me of Xenoblade 2 a bit. Oh shoot, it also has Xeno and 2 in its name. That's crazy. And the game had also a troubled development? Oh shoot, again. And wait, it also introduced cinematic chain attacks? Well, between two party members. Like what? And the ability to launch enemies? Man, there is one thing that can't be said about Xenosaga Episode 2. And that's regarding this game having bad graphics. Because the graphics are pretty good. You want to tell me that these two games had only 2 years between them? Revisiting some areas from the first game in the second game, it almost feels like a remake of sorts. You have ray tracing. You have improved realism, better camera angles, you have sometimes really cool illusions which make the game so much more massive. Like this big sense of scale. It feels like a massive universe, which is so sick. The combat has also another unique aspect to it, and that's the Tekken-like combos you can do during battles, and every enemy having a unique stance, I suppose, where you can break them with the right combo of attacking low, high and low, middle, just kind of doing this variation. Although the high attacks were exchanged with middle attacks not too long after starting the game, for whatever reason. One of the many strange decisions in the game for sure. But doing the correct setup, doing the elemental combos, breaking and downing the enemy to increase the game's multiplier bit by bit and nuking the enemy right after and receiving a skill point multiplier, yes, that feels very satisfying. No way! Times 10! That was the first time I got times 10! I got 4,000 points! And in all honesty, I'm kinda tired of talking about the good aspects. What is that? What is that? Udo have mercy. This is the slowest game I have ever played in my entire life. The most random encounters against low-level enemies can take a minimum of 5 minutes because it takes ages to beat one single enemy. And you can have 5 of them on the screen at the same time. And they have the most random OP abilities for no reason. That then take 10 seconds to cast. Maybe it's also a slow effect or a stun, so they can just combo cycle you so you die without being able to do anything. You better not expect any rewards from the game too. Don't get me started on how many battles the game forces you into. I'm having a headache right now just talking about it again. Man, at a few points I was legit whining. I don't think I ever complained so much on stream before, and I apologize once again to everyone who saw me crying about stuff here and there. I don't like to complain, especially out loud. I rarely do that, but this game's gameplay sucks. There, I said it. I didn't have a good time with the gameplay of the game. This game is just padding after padding over stuff that makes no sense. They just added random gameplay elements for the sake of trying to keep you entertained. So much of this stuff was so random and didn't make any sense. I don't talk about spoilers in my review videos, but this is a warning. I want to warn you if you haven't played it yet. There's one section that you play through with really annoying enemies, and the best part that after you're done with this area, you run through the exactly same area again. And I dare you to tell me that it's not all the same. It has snow now. How many hours of my life have been wasted? I'll never get them back. The graph of my enjoyment was just a constant very high up and a very low down. Up with the cutscenes that were playing, and down when the gameplay part started. And it has peaked when Ziggy Jr., Albedo and Dimitri Yuriev were on screen. And I gotta say, well yeah, I definitely gotta say that the ending was peak. I am beyond hyped for Xenosaga 3, but this is something for the future. The game has so many oddities. Voice samples sounding like you listen to music while snacking a bowl of Captain Crunch, like what happened? What happened to my girls? What happened to my boys? What happened to their voices? Chaos was so cool in 1 and now he's edgy and lacking any emotions. What happened? Who is Kanan? Pretending to be the main character at the start of the game just to vanish for pretty much the whole rest of the game. Kos-mos is also absent for most of the game. And what's wrong with Xion? I still don't really like her. I understand that she has issues, it's more than obvious. But she seems very mentally unstable. and absolutely doesn't care about anyone else but herself. That's what I see, at least. What did my boy Jin do? She behaves like and acts like a kindergarten child at times. I see why people usually tell people to just watch the cutscenes. And you know what? Yeah, maybe this would have been the better thing to do. But hey, I wanted to entertain the thought that maybe it isn't as bad as people make it out to be. But it kinda was that bad. Hey, hate me if you want, love the game if you want. You were given a free will for a reason. But this just ain't it, man. Great story, great universe, absolutely 1000% agree. But I would sacrifice my left kidney for a more sci-fi adventure once again. I honestly can't wait. I can feel like I'm growing impatient for their next game. At least I have Pied Piper, Missing Gear, and 3 still to go through. Isn't there also Freaks? Is it any good? I don't know. A massive thank you, and I hope I pronounce it correctly, to Xiangdong, who is now a supporter through Patreon. That's a Chinese name, I think, right? So many people watch from so many different countries, that is so cool. I speak 3 languages fluent, as you know, and I'm learning Spanish again after a few years of a break, just kinda, just for the fun of it. So yes, thank you for your support, danke für eure Unterstützung. Спасибо вам за вашу поддержку. Y gracias a todos por su apoyo. I had French for half a year, but hated it. I'm sorry, folks. My tongue it's confused by your language. I can't help it. But let's give it a shot anyways. I hope Google Translate can help me out here. Merci à tous pour votre soutien. Yes. Oui. It is very appreciated. It really is. Thank you for watching, folks. I wish you all a real good one. See you in the next video. Goodbye.